Hello and welcome back to Wigwam Gaming. As always, I am your host, Wigwam. Today we're going to review the gritty 2017 reboot of Calvin and Hobbes, Hob. Hob is the latest release from Runic Studios, who you may know from their wildly successful and heavily advertised game series, Torchlight. Seriously, I used to see advertisements for Torchlight every single time I logged on to Steam. I don't even like RPG dungeon crawlers, alright? This game would not take a hint. But other people sure do seem to like Torchlight, with an almost perfect review score on Steam with over 18,000 individual reviews on Torchlight 2 alone. Hob is a bit different for the studio though, as it ditches many of the core elements of gameplay from Torchlight, and many of the underground cave aesthetics that define that series. Instead, they've crafted a game that's more of an open adventure Zelda with bright colors and forest themes. Hob marks a 5-year gap since Runic Studios' last major release with Torchlight 2. So what has Runic Studios been doing with their time? Well, getting bought out, having 2 of their co-founders quit to go form their own company, and I imagine at least a little bit of dicking around. That's assumptive, I don't know what they do. So with all this in mind, does Hob even really stand a chance to be good? The short answer is yes. The long answer is, oh my god, yes! I want to marry this game, I want to have babies with this game, some adoptive children, we want to have a home together, because this game inspires me to be a better person, because it's got a beautiful... Anyways, I loved Hob, and here is why you should too. Hob has created a deep and imaginative world that you can literally just spend hours exploring. The game starts off with you being awoken from your cave by Bastion from Overwatch. He beckons you to follow him, and you do because this is a video game, and that's pretty much the only thing you can do. The game takes this time to quickly introduce you to the world and its mechanics. Hob features a fixed camera from behind, which makes this game feel like a 3D version of the 2D Zeldas, which I know may seem contradictory, but that is really the best way to explain it. It's a 2D Zelda with some fantastic 3D platforming. Anyways, back to Bastion and Hobbes. Your robot friend is helping you navigate the world with his great robot strength coupled together with your platforming abilities. He takes you to some purple bubbling corruption, and that's when shit gets real. The boiling purple ooze from the original Power Rangers movie attacks you, and Bastion is forced to go full Walking Dead on your ass and become a disappointing mess of a show that has lost its way, but much like its subject matter, refuses to die, but instead keeps going on and on, hurting everyone that once cared about it in some kind of great meta irony. Oh wait, no, he chops your arm off. He goes Walking Dead on you in the sense that he cuts off your arm, except in The Walking Dead it's a leg. I just really wanted to take this opportunity to tell you guys that I fucking hate The Walking Dead. And then, like the great friend he is, he rips off his own arm and attaches it to your body. So anyways, you wake up and you're fine, except you're gonna have to start buying different size gloves. Your robot friend is also fine, so hooray for that! Now with your robot arm, you are able to do all the things your robot friend could do, making the world seem infinitely more accessible. That is the beginning, and for the most part, the end of the plot. Hob is a game with no spoken dialogue, or text dialogue either. At first I found this to be a bit confusing. Bastion had led us through the beginning and had been there to guide us, but at this part of the game, he just points at some weird copper line in the ground, and it's up to us to fill in the gaps and find out what to do next. The clues we do get in this game come in the form of map markers. They're pretty great about pointing us in a direction to explore as opposed to forcefully dragging us through the game. I adore this. In the modern day of games, hand-holding can be a huge issue, one that I personally hate. Just look at the fan reaction to Skyward Sword. While it's far from the only major problem with that game, you would be hard-pressed to find a review that doesn't mention the helicopter parenting approach to tutorials. I didn't mind being a little lost in the beginning because this sense of independence and freedom I felt really drew me into the world. I wanted to wander off and explore because I personally wanted answers. And as you're exploring, you start to find all sorts of rewards. There are the usual things you would find in a game like this: heart pieces and stamina pieces, which you collect X amount of to unlock upgrades, but also you find sword fragments to upgrade your weapon. You also find abilities, which you have to carry back to your home base so that they can then be purchased with this game's equivalence of money. I really enjoy this twist on the unlock system. These upgrades aren't just handed to you, and it's not just a matter of trying to farm money to buy them. This is a game about exploring, so that's what you have to do. And they're not going to hand you the money to unlock them either. You have to earn it by finding what are essentially hidden treasure chests or fighting tougher enemies. And combat in this game can be tough. You're not gonna just hack and slash your way through this game. Most enemies require you dodge and shield until you get an opening. Later enemies have armor that must be broken or removed before being able to fight them. Sometimes tougher enemies gang up on you and you have to bait them into hurting each other so that you can then pick off the remaining foes. The combat requires a level of thought and strategy I was not expecting from this game. So apart from the many goodies and collectibles you can find along your way, your main focus is to rebuild the world you find yourself in and cleanse it from evil. Many huge chunks of the world are actually just entirely missing. You restore them as you fight and explore your way through this mystical land. Hob is created in a steampunk-style world. Large segments of land are comprised of gears, and pushing buttons and switches causes the world to morph and change as if it were all just one giant robot. It goes back to your actions feeling like they actually have consequences in this world. The world was constantly changing and growing and healing thanks to my adventures. It's nice to play through a game like this where the only progression isn't just the things you collect, but you can actually walk around and see the results of your actions. Hob does a great job of balancing these themes of nature and mechanics. You go under the world and you see robots working away under the surface, but you head out into the open and you see the forest life taking back the land. It's a great aesthetic, and it can be seen in the main characters of the game as well. Bastion and Hob are representative of this partnership between life and technology. So what's not to like in Hob? Well, there are a few things. The fixed camera angle at times does betray you. There are moments where you are forced to walk towards the camera and you can't tell where you're going. This can cause you to walk into hazards or enemies. The camera positions are, the majority of the time, placed perfectly. They emphasize the action and the settings, but occasionally, it can really screw you over. Secondly, the game did crash quite a few times. Although I did play this game in the first 2 days after release, and the development team is famous for their responsiveness. When Torchlight 2 came out, there's actually a story that says that mere hours after a forum member mentioned that one of the game's camera effects left her unable to play sections of the game due to an uncommon eye condition, a Runic developer patched in a user toggle for the option at 8 AM on a Sunday morning, no less. So I have the utmost faith that these crashes will be fixed shortly. Third, as you play through the game, you slowly start to fill in the map, and it's huge, but once you finish the game, you realize a large portion of it is never actually used. This particularly sucked because I wanted more game, damn it. And that's really all my complaints. Guys, I just can't find many negatives to Hob. I don't usually give out scores in my reviews because I don't think it's fair to base a game on a number. It's more to me about, is the game worth your time and money? Does it leave you with a lasting impression? Does it do something new and innovative? Is it fun? Is it worth it? And Hob is definitely worth it. It's $20, it's available on Steam and PS4 right now, and I cannot recommend this game enough. It is easily one of my favorite games of the year so far. If you like Zelda, if you like adventure games, if you like platforming games, you need to give Hob a chance. And then once you love it as much as I do, you need to go share it with all your little robot friends. Let's not allow Hob to be one of those hidden gems that nobody knows about. Get the word out, give it a try, it gives my 100% full Wigwam stamp of approval. But hey, that's just my opinion. It should be your opinion too, but go play the game and let me know how right I am about Hob down below in the comments, as well as if there's anything else coming out that you would like me to review or talk about. Let me know. I'm gonna be willing to make videos about pretty much anything. I'm kind of a video whore, but not a cam whore, like just a video like and comment, subscribe. I'm getting out of this. Ba-dum.